The best retirement advice ever from a 55-year-old retiree. As I'm doing this above, beautiful, Cal State, Los Angeles. As you see the mountains in the back, little bit of smog, but not bad. I don't know if you can see there is some snow on the top of the mountains way back there. And if you can ignore the shadow of my cell phone, it'd be even better. But the sun's almost behind the hills, so got to deal with it. Anyway, yeah, this guy retired at 55. What is his good piece of advice or pieces? I have 4 steps for you that he advised to be able to retire at 55 years old. I would have loved that. I retired at 59. So this guy retired a decade before his peers. I got this all from Business Insider. His wife also retired even earlier than him. She worked as well. And they had 2 kids. Okay, are you annoyed enough yet by this shadow? How's this? I'll try to be the male model and lean to the left. How you doing? How's everything going? Nice to meet you. So, what are his 4 steps? Number 1, set a goal, create a budget, and track your progress. Can't tell you how important that is, guys. Budget. The goal, obviously, yes. But to me, budgeting is the big key of what he said here. Budget. As much, and if you can't budget, if you get tired of budgeting, budget some more. Oh, one more piece I forgot to say in the beginning. This guy was on track to retire at 50. Yeah, but then 2008 came along and it set him back about 5 years. So this is another piece right here, outside of these 4 points I'm going to tell you, 4 steps. Just because you have a setback doesn't mean you still can't retire early. Delayed this guy by 5 years, but he's still retired at 55. Amazing. So step number 1, set a goal, create a budget, and track your progress. Guys, budgeting has been one of the biggest things that I've done. Whoa, here we go. In the last 10, 15 years, you got to have a budget. If not, you're going to be running crazy with your money. That's not how you want to go. If you want to retire, especially early, you have to be very diligent. Very, very diligent. That means budgeting. And when he's talking about tracking your progress, that might not mean too much in the beginning. But for you, my younger viewers, watch how that compound interest takes off about 10 years into your saving journey. Then look at 15, and oh my God, when you're looking at 20, yeah, you'll be going crazy. It's like, what? I contributed this much and this much is in my nest egg now? Oh my God. That's how compound interest works on you after a while. It takes a while to get going though. Hey, for those of you who see me for the first time, my name is Duane, this male model you see above, Cal State, LA. Let me check the time. This is a channel for retiring on moderate income. If you think you might like something like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. And I have to say this every once in a while, over 60% of the people that watch my channel are still not subscribed. So guys, please, if you've watched one or more of my videos and you've got anything out of value out of it, please consider subscribing. Okay, so number 2, what is the second step? As I switch hands, as I often do, but this is really tricky. The second step here is avoid lifestyle inflation. You know, I miss that. I miss being at college, carefree, riding your motorized skateboard all around with nothing to do except worrying where your next beer's coming from. Yeah, it was a fun time. Number 2, avoid lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. What this guy did is he lived below his means. Not easy to do for some people. Once that lifestyle creep starts a creeping, it's kind of hard to put back in the box and put the nails on that lid. So when you notice this, guys, try and put a damper on it. That's the biggest thing that's going to influence your savings journey. Lifestyle creep. You know, let's say you're contributing, I don't know, 6-7% to your 401k, And all of a sudden, ooh, I want to get that house. Ooh, I want to get that car. Ooh, I want to get that trophy wife. Lifestyle creep can put a big crimp into your retirement savings. You might stay at that 5, 6, 7% percentage rate for 10 years instead of slowly bumping it up to 10%, 15%, and to where I got at the end, almost 25% of my income I was saving before I retired. So lifestyle creep, it's a big one. Number 3, his third step, his third piece of advice, invest aggressively and diversify. What him and his wife did is they maxed out their 401ks as early as possible. Don't just settle, like I just said in point number 2, don't just settle for getting your employee match or your employer match. Not good enough. If you can, work your way up. Doesn't have to be immediate, but work your way up to where eventually you might be maxing out your 401k contributions. Then you might have to get an IRA because you got even more money you're willing to put into it, right? So this guy and his wife, they maxed out their 401k contributions as early as possible. That's a big key. Again, aggressively saving and diversifying. The diversification part is he invested in stocks, bonds, and also real estate properties. Why is that important? I was a landlord. Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but as you can tell in my videos, my arms fall asleep after a while. Is that just a part of age? Or maybe I'm just weak? Rental properties. That was a big part of his strategy. Because they retired at 55, and his wife even a little bit earlier, they couldn't start touching their 401ks until 59 and a half. So in those bridge years between 55 and 59 and a half, they used the rental income they were getting from their properties to fund their lifestyle. Great strategy. Great strategy. You know, I look back, I owned a duplex 30 years ago. Had it for about a year and a half. I rented out. I lived in one half and I rented out the other half. I can't tell you how many times I have wished that I held on to that duplex. Oh my God. I could have swung it. It would have been tight, but I could have swung it. Why didn't I? I wasn't thinking 20 years, 30 years in the future. I should have been. If I would have held on to that, man, I would be in a much better spot. So anyway, they invested in rental property along with stocks and bonds. So what does this do? This diversifies. In case you have a bad year like 3-4 years ago or bad 2 years where stocks are just going, they're getting hammered. Okay? Well, actually in the last couple of years, bonds haven't been doing that good either, right? But usually bonds work the opposite of stocks. If stocks are down, bonds are up. Bonds are down, stocks are up. Usually it works like that. But if you've got rental property on top of that, where you have that monthly income coming in, man, you're going to be looking good for an early retirement or just retirement in general. Fourth piece of advice, consider a part-time backup plan for income. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. In their case, even though they're retired, his wife still does some consulting part-time for what her career used to be. You know, it actually doesn't say what her career was, nor does it say what his was. I wish they would have given that. They don't have the info. She consults part-time doing what she used to do, just consulting on it. They consider this for now fun money. Not bad, right? But if anything ever happens to their other streams of income, if there's a couple bad years in the stock market and their investments have gone down, they can rely on this part-time backup plan to help them out. Great strategies, great strategy. And he retired at 55 and her younger, and they had 2 kids to raise, okay? So it's not just single people with no kids that can retire early. This gives you a strategy, a strong strategy for someone retiring at 55 and his wife a couple years before, and they had 2 kids to raise. Yes, they did have 2 salaries, and it did say they worked in high tech. Okay, so probably pretty decent salaries, right? So this may not be achievable for some, but for a lot of you it is, man. Look at, it's only 4 steps. and there are 4 solid steps that he gave. So guys, hey, there's a game plan right there for if you want to retire at 55. Think about it, because some good points in there. And as always, from lovely Cal State LA, where it is about to start evening classes. Maybe I'll go catch up to that guy on the skateboard and steal it from him and take a couple runs and then down a couple beers. College life all over again. We got this.